The word quite is an adverb, similar to the adverbs very and really. There are some differences among these three words. In this video, I'll show you how to use this adverb, quite. The word quite looks similar to quit and quiet. Quit is a verb, which means to stop, and quiet is an adjective that is used when there is less noise or not a lot of noise. Quite, quit, quiet. If you take off the E, then it sounds like quit. Add the E, and it sounds like quite. Quite, quit, quiet. They're quite busy today. Here is the adverb, and here is the adjective. In this position, you could also put really or very. They're really busy. They're very busy. They're quite busy today. The meanings are all the same. It's just a matter of which you prefer. The word quite sounds good if you know how to use it. It's really cold outside. It's very cold outside. It's quite cold outside. The meanings are really about the same. Here are the adverbs, and this is an adjective. Remember that adverbs modify an adjective. Quite cold. You could eliminate the adverb and just use the adjective. But the adverb will intensify the meaning for the adjective. There are many different adjectives that you can use with quite. Here are some examples. Quite beautiful, quite popular, quite interesting, quite difficult, quite heavy, quite happy. He's quite sure of himself. Sure of, and then here's the reflexive pronoun that goes back to the subject. To be sure of oneself is to have confidence. This adverb is often used with this type of expression, sure of, and then here's the reflexive pronoun. You could use very, and you could use really, but I think in most cases you'll hear people use quite instead of these two. It's the same thing as saying he's quite confident. And you could use this instead of this. Quite a bit. These three words are often used together. The word a bit in this position is similar to a lot. There's quite a bit of work to do today. By itself, a bit is a small amount. But if you add quite here, then this means a large amount or a lot. Quite a bit of information. Quite a lot of information or quite a bit of information. You can also use quite a few. By itself, a few is a small amount. But by putting quite in front of a few, then you're talking about a large amount or a large number, quite a few people, quite a few things. Use quite a few with count nouns. Use quite a bit of or quite a lot of with non-count nouns. For a count noun, notice that there is a plural after quite a few books, quite a few cars, quite a few people, quite a few students, quite a few choices. There's no S after the non-count noun. Quite a bit of noise, or quite a lot of noise. Quite a bit of water, quite a bit of food, quite a bit of information, quite a bit of email. Not quite is similar to the word almost. It's not quite 4 o'clock. It's almost 4 o'clock. It's not quite 4 o'clock. Is it 4 o'clock yet? The person who answers can say, not quite. It's the same thing as saying almost. I'm not quite ready. She's not quite finished. They're not quite done. So in each case, this means almost. It's not good enough. This may sound like harsh criticism. If you want to soften it a little bit, then you can put the word quite here. It's not quite good enough. Or you can use this for a person when talking about a person's skill. He's not quite good enough, or he's not quite good enough yet. If a person makes a mistake or says something that you don't agree with, you could say that's wrong. Or you could say that's not quite right. That's not quite right. It sounds a little softer than to say something like this. That's wrong. That's not quite right. I think between these two, this sounds better.